Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Firebug and today is going to be a little bit different. So in this very beginning, I'm just going to quickly show you guys what I built in this video. And I'm not going to go what each item does, but yeah, if you always wanted to want to copy my builds and the community builds, just type in exafile, and there's no capital letters, it's just exafile. But yeah, first item, war flag. I'm always been a war flag kind of player, but you can always swap those items out if it says swap in needed. But this is what the build I built in this video. And I got prophetic cloak, of course, just for the cooldown in the beginning. And you might as well start stacking it, because when it's fully stacked, then you get that huge benefits. Shoguns, Brawler's Breedstick, Shifter Shield. I forgot what the crab one is called. That one's pretty good. It buffs the team. And then you got Freya's Tears. This item right here on screen right now is pretty strong, so you want to utilize it. But the reason why I didn't build it in this video is because I was going against a Soul ADC, so it didn't make sense to rush it. Physical defense versus, a magical. I know Soul is hybrid, but she's going to do more magical damage than physical. Hide in the Nemean is another great pick. And then Oni Hunter Garb is the best magical defense item in the game. There's just no doubt about it, just because of the damage mitigation passive that you get with it. Spirit Robe, because, if you're going to go up in front and the team fights like Athena, you're going to dash in, start the team fight, taunt someone, and you're gonna bond to have CC. So I've been getting more of the Yogi's necklace just for the healing. And then of course I gotta mention these two items you see in all of YouTube, but this works really well. That one item and mystical mail, and then of course Mantle of Discord. Right, again, you're gonna dash in, you're gonna be in the middle of a team fight, and it would be quite useful to have a stun to stun the team and hopefully get away. So there you go. All right, so that being all said, I was trying to say that in super fast because I don't want to take too much time. But yeah, that's what I built in this video, and the video I'm showing you right now. And we won, by the way, so spoiler alert. But I think I did pretty well. Of course, I can always swap different items, and you can tell me in the comments below if you're an Athena player, like, hey, this is what I build, and this is what works for me, right? But today's not just gonna be like me yapping about Athena and all this other stuff. It's just gonna be a different topic. But so just sit back, relax, enjoy the gameplay as I start yapping away. And if you like this kind of content, let me know. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Right, subscribe so you don't miss another video. And I can talk about different gods, goddesses, game status, all this Smite related stuff, and so forth and so forth. And if you want build guides, you can always look up exafile, and I'll put that on the screen right now. And you can go to the community tab, look at exafile, and no capital letters, just all lowercase, and you can copy my builds if you want to. So today's topic is basically what I was thinking about from my last video, my toxic players experience. If you haven't checked that out, I'll put the the YouTube card on the top right that you can click on it, and it'll directly go to that video. And of course, I'm always going to put the link in the description if you missed my last video. But during that whole toxic player experience, and what I've been getting a lot lately was a lot more toxic players, and that's why I made that video. But another thing I was thinking about is there's a lack of education in the game. And I know in Titan Talk they kind of talk about it briefly, like, oh, why isn't there a actual tutorial? Why isn't there like stuff to read, to understand, to learn? And of course, the devs are like, well, you see, most players just don't want to sit there and read all this, and it'd be overwhelming, and that's why we don't have videos, or we don't have anything to really, teach new players how to play the game. And the way that they were saying it is like, there's other outsourced material that you can learn the game. And I was thinking about this, and I was like, not a lot of players actually know how to play this game. And of course, I'm not like perfect either, right? There's some things that I didn't even know about. Like today, I learned about that the the bomb that you get from Pyro, you can blow up the doors from the enemy team and they don't respawn. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you can do that. It's just those little things that I'm like, nobody really teaches you these things unless you dive and dig deep into like the YouTube or Twitch or anything like that people actually have the knowledge of, those things. And it's not like there's different ways to like actually learn. Like there's no books to read, there's no like source materials to really sit there and like digest all these different things in Smite, right? Because Smite 2 is super complex, and of course I'm still learning as well, but I feel like there's just so much of lack of like that kind of, how do I say that, there's lack of like learning material. And the only sources that I can only think about is probably like, if you're struggling with builds, of course there's so many videos about it, right? You just throw up a build, like, oh, this is what I built, and you're gonna get a pentakill. And you see it all over, right? And I said this like in a couple of my videos, but I don't like that kind of content. And I know it's kind of ironic because I kind of showed you guys what I built in the very beginning, and it might help you guys. But the thing was, I don't think it's just the build problem that people have. I think it's just the gameplay knowledge. Like what to go, when to go, when do I attack, when do I defend, when do I go in, right? Those little factors. It's kind of like chess, right? It's like you have to think about your next move. And I feel like with Smite players a lot, they kind of just don't have that kind of process of like thinking of like, okay, I need to go there next, right? For me, this is how I think, right? Oh, I'm gonna go take these back camps with Kali, and then I'm probably gonna go back to lane, and then I'm probably gonna go, A, B, C, D. You get the idea. Like I'm always thinking ahead of what should I do next, because like I can kill these, minions and harpies without even looking. And so my brain's not thinking about that. It's like, how do I engage? How do I get that farm? How do I, min-max my farming? All that stuff. And I feel like with a lot of like players, they don't really have that kind of concept. And they kind of just, they do what they see and they kind of react. So let's say, for example, right? The Ares is going to go in, probably ult. And of course I'm lag here. But he's going to go in, probably ult and all that shit. Yep, there he goes. And most of the time people just kind of react, right? It's like they're expecting it to happen, but they're gonna react to it just by using beads or in ult, of course, right? But they don't, but the problem is like they don't think ahead, they don't see it, right? Like, how do I explain this? So the reason why I knew the Ares is gonna probably ult there was because of him being aggressive. And you've seen this in like in videos and just in matches, right? Most Ares players, as soon as they're about to ult, what are they gonna do? They're gonna run forward and don't care about the minions, don't care about you basic attacking them, anything like that. They're just gonna run forward like a Terminator. And you see that kind of movement play style, right? And that's just bound to happen. And that's the kind of things that people don't really see, and not a lot of people teach you about how do I know that Ares is going to ult there, right? And it's not just Ares. You can use this for different, characters in the game, like gods and goddesses, right? Odin, for example, he's not going to be aggressive, and then as soon as he is going to be aggressive, he's going to try to jump in and ult, right? It's just, all of a sudden, oh, he's just aggressive. Why is he so aggressive? Because, the enemy jungler is around, or his butt buddy is going to be around, right? It's these little things that, and YouTube and Twitch and all that, they don't really teach you about. And that's just like one example of the many things that you can learn of Smite too, right? Like, for example, these fire creeps, right? Some people might not understand what's the point of getting these. Why is it so important to get these? What do they do exactly? Well, to give you some context, what these fire gems, or whatever the fuck they're called, they give you a permanent +1 on if you're intelligence or strength, right? And they give you a +1 on either or. If you're hybrid, you get +1 on both. So it's really important, like say Aladdin gets more of those than me, because I'm gonna just benefit with 3 more intelligence scaling, right? If Anubis got it, he'll just get that 3. But for Aladdin, right, it's like he also got 3 of those fire gems. I don't even know what the fuck they're called. And he will get the benefit of not just 3 of the intelligence, but he also gets the 3 of the strength. So it's kind of important. And then you can see why in every rotation you should probably pick those up, right? For the jungler. And I was thinking about not a lot of people pick them up, and you'll be surprised. Not a lot of people even bother to even kill those things, kill those fire creeps, and pick up those fire gems. I'm just gonna keep calling it fire gems because I really don't know the name of it. I'm sorry. But it's those little things that people just don't have access to, that kind of knowledge, because again, you go to YouTube and Twitch, they kind of just throw the build, and then they talk about the build, and then they talk about why they're positioning here, why am I ulting the Anubis, stuff like that. This is a bad play, by the way. I should have dashed in here. I don't know why I did. I was just assuming that Anubis might have, followed through since I'm taking tower shots, but I ended up getting caught here, and I was like, you know what? I'm already dead, right? My abilities are on cooldown. I'm just gonna stand here and basically die. Yeah, I could have wasted their time and run around, but there's no point, because that was just a bad play in my take, right? It's just those little things. But after rewatching this and after learning it, I can learn about it. And it's just it's those little things that nobody teaches you about how to play Smite or Smite 2. I touched the topic of new player experience in my other video, and I think it's a cool idea that they're branching out, doing the action camera as I'm forcing myself to play the action camera right now in my videos, and kind of just have a better understanding of what the new player experience and what they see basically in their eyes. With action camera, I honestly wish that I can have a setting to change the POV just a little bit, right? With Athena it looks fine, but with Chalk, Hercules, and all these other gods, it's pretty rough to try to see what the fuck you're doing, right? So there's that. But going back to the topic, right, of new player experience, it's yeah, it's great that we're having new players come and play the game, but I feel like with a majority of I'm not saying my team's bad, I'm not saying all my teammates are just, bad or anything. Like, again, this match, I had decent teammates. They rotated, they helped. This Anubis is going to turn around and help me get this Ares off me, right? Like, that's good team play right there. But I'm not going to expect this in every match, right? So it's these little things that there's no access to like learn about it. Like, and when you do ask them, they kind of breach it off. I had a match that I was playing Milan in solo lane, and the enemy jungler helped the enemy Milan, right, get their blue. So in turn, the enemy Milan, actually got a level ahead of me. I'm still level 1, and I got hurt a little bit because, if someone snowballs and people are like, what's a snowball? What? It's not wintertime, it's summertime. What's snowball mean, right? Snowball is basically when in the very beginning, someone gets a bunch of kills. Someone gets more minions, gets more XP, right? And they have a level advantage. So, of course, in the very beginning, you're level 1, you have one ability. So what happened to me in this match, well, not this match, but the match that I was playing Milan, is that I was level 1 and I was forced to go under my tower, as the enemy Milan just like, oh, you're going to hide under tower? That's cute. I'm just going to freeze wave, right? And you're probably like, what's freeze wave, right? Again, I'm using all these terms, and you're probably like, well, that's clearly easy. Like, people already know what those terms mean. But you'd be surprised, because the amount of the matches that I played, a lot of people don't use these tactics. It's like they know it, but they don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I know about how to freeze wave, but they don't do it. I know about min-maxing, but they don't do it. It's like these little things that nobody is getting taught, right? There's no school or university of how to play Smite 2. That would be a funny concept, right? It's like, okay, guys, today's class lesson is... But again, most of these people, right, they're American, and I'm American, of course, but they don't like the concept of school. They don't like the concept of learning. And trust me, I think sometimes it's really fucking boring to learn new shit too. Trust me, like, I've been there. But it's the things that it's like, okay, if I'm dedicated to play this game, and I'm dedicated to learn, grow, and all that, you probably want to learn it, right? Think of it like any other sport. Like, oh, I really like football. Maybe I should learn what the NFL does. Maybe I should watch it, learn, take notes, get better. What gear do I need? What's the best gear, right? What is the advantages so I can win and perform better? And those are the things, like, people will dedicate their whole lives on that kind of sport. So think of it like that. But now put it in Smite terms, right? Because for me, I spent 12 to 13 years in this game, and maybe some other people, I'm not saying all, but maybe some other people are in the same boat. That's why they keep playing Smite, that's why they keep coming back, and so on. But you probably want to learn what these, even it's like the dumbest things, right? Even it's like the smallest things. You want to learn everything so you can have the knowledge and then grow and adapt and actually win your games, right? It's these little things that, again, people get caught on. And I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but it's just like, I see it a lot that even new to old players, they tend to do the same thing and expect different results. And they're like, oh, here's a build, here's the Athena build. But I'm like, yeah, but there's the reason why I have swappable items. So if you're fighting against, let's say, an Uller, right? In the very beginning, you probably don't want to get Shoguns. You probably want to utilize a different physical defense item. It's these like little things that it's like, yeah, no shit, but you'd be surprised at how many times I've seen players just not have that kind of grasp. And they get discouraged when they try to learn new things, or they get discouraged and they don't want to keep playing the game. It's these little things, right? These little things that no one teaches you about, and it's kind of frustrating because like you see it in your team, in your teammates, even if you're not like there to guide them, and you don't have the time to guide them because this game you had to have a good time management, right? If you're good at time management, you'd be really good at jungler. But if you're not really good at time management and not realizing, oh, we're like 18 minutes in, maybe I should have like at least 3 items by now. Maybe I should be level 15 or 16. Maybe I should go in mid a little bit more and have those big team fights. Look for objectives. In this match, we kind of lack on the objectives in the very beginning into mid game. It's just like those little things that no one teaches you about. You go, and again, you go on any platform, YouTube, Twitch, whatever that you see. And what's the most of the time that you kind of see in the thumbnails? It's just items. It's just items. It's like, build this. This is how I got the pentakill. Build this, and this is what I did to win the game. And it's like, yeah, you can build the right items. You can build exactly like, let's say like Final King or Weekend or any of those other guys. You build the exact same items as you just watch them play. I don't know. Let's say Kali, right? Let's say like one of those big content creators. They're playing Kali, and they had a build, and they go 20-1, right? And most of the time, you watch their videos or you go on their live stream, and they're just talking about probably, reacting to the whatever is chat, of course, and then most of the time they just talk about the build and nothing really else. Like, of course, they will talk about, like, in this live stream is a little bit different. They'll teach you about, like, little things, right? Just, like, little bits of, like, okay, so this is why I feel like this is a bad idea. Ares is going to ult, but we end up still getting the gold fairy here, right? Of course, they're going to talk about stuff like that. Or they talk about, like, just little things, but it's never to the point, like it's always the what do I build kind of question. And I feel like with most players, I don't know why the fuck I lagged here too. That's a really big lag spike. Oh yeah, I was pissed. I was like, why the fuck did I lag? And I was trying to body block this Anubis so he can go in the lamp. But I was lagging so bad. Oh my god. But they ended up still getting the kill, so it worked out. But as I was saying, like, I feel like there's just a lack of like learning potential in this game. There's just nothing to really go by. If you go back to Smite 1, they actually had a little bit of those videos teach you about the God kit, teach you about, oh, this is what Anubis does. He has a wrap. That's what it does. His one is a slow, right? Stuff like that, like those little things. When people are like, "Oh, his rap's is slow," and then they go right through their head. Not his rap. What am I talking about? His one, his one is a slow, or I think it's his 3. It's one of the 2. I know one of them slows, but a lot of people don't realize that it has a slow. They just see it on the ground. You're like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't walk on it," right? It's these. But again, if you learned about it, you're like, oh, it slows. You have that knowledge, and you're like, okay, I can probably slow him down so it can, help my teammates catch up the enemy that are running away. Or I can utilize this slow effect in my advantage. just again, there's no knowledge. In Smite 1, they used to have videos like that that will teach you what the god does. And I'm not saying like those videos on their YouTube page. There are actually videos in Smite 1 teaching you about the god. I think there was a time that they had a VGS system, and you can learn VGS minigame in Smite 1. I don't know if they still have it, but that was something that you can like sit there practice as the queue was 6 minutes long as you were waiting there, and you can learn the VGS. That's how I started learning VGS in controller, and I got really good with it. And again, in Hi-Res's eyes, it's like, oh, there's just outsources material that you can learn. I don't think that's a good idea, because the amount of matches that I've gone, the amount of matches of just quote unquote bad teammates, and I feel like it's not really just bad teammates. I blame the lack of education of the materials that they are provided in this game community, and there's nothing to really help them with. The only sources that they got was Twitch, YouTube, and that's basically it. So that's like my kind of topic of today, and I'm trying to make videos of like the lore, and people can learn about the lore, and people learn about the game and all that stuff. I try making videos like that in my past, but I feel like with most players, they don't care. They don't care what the deity is, or call it the destroyer, right? They don't care about stuff like that. They care about, oh, am I gonna win? Am I gonna show off to my friends? Can I make this as a TikTok? Catch that clip, right? That's all the hype it is. But I feel like education is really key, and you can apply this to not just in Smite, but in games in general. Anyways, that's my yap session. Hopefully you can agree, disagree. Hopefully I touched the topic, and again, I'm not doing this without a script, so no script, just be yapping, talking about what's on my mind. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know in the comments. If you like this kind of content, please leave a like, and if you want to don't miss out on the next video, go ahead and subscribe. So, and all that is for free, so I'm not gonna charge you guys anything. Just if you like it, not whatever. Don't dislike it is all I'm gonna say. But if you don't like it, you don't have to do anything. Just click off the video. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Thanks again for listening to me yapping. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.